Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out CalCent Gaming. I appreciate the support. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that subscribe button. I do really appreciate it. It's one of the biggest things you can do to help a guy out. Also, leave comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there's something I'm missing, ideas you have for future videos, I'd love to hear and communicate with the community. And so far, I really appreciate all the support. Today we're just going to be talking about 5 basic things that I wish I knew earlier. Now that I've played up to and through a big chunk of Act 3, I just realized there's some very basic things that I didn't really realize were as important as they are overall. If you're like me at least and you really like to find everything and search around, I highly recommend making sure you check literally every corner of the map. Watch out for, things that you maybe can see and failed and have to switch a character in to be able to see them. One thing I missed on my very first takeaway when I ran through the Grove, as an example, is there's a little guy here who was poking around the rocks. And after talking with him, come to find out there was a whole secret entrance here. Didn't know that. Wasn't a huge find in here, but there are certainly other areas in the game that I have not searched well enough, but I didn't know until later that there were things that I could do. One of which is actually move these boxes and barrels around. Super easy. Might seem like that's not really a big deal, but it actually comes in pretty handy when you're able to move things around. Because you'll find certain hatches underneath containers for secret passages. You'll find levers or buttons behind items sometimes. So I really encourage when you're playing through to check every single nook and cranny and corner that you can find in the game, because you never know what might actually be hidden behind it. This game has so many different items and passageways that it's incredible. I really can't believe I missed this my first time playing through, because I really felt like I was searching everywhere. And this isn't even the first thing I've discovered on my second playthrough that I don't know how I missed, simply because I didn't click every person. I didn't go through and really realize the depth of this game, I guess is really what I'm saying, right? You go through every corner, you click every person, because clicking on a certain person might trigger an event, or in this case it was a secret passage. Just incredible game in the way they've set it up. And again, you can move these boxes and use them to your advantage. I know a lot of people recommend carrying boxes around so you can stack them and stand on top of them. I don't really do that. I've never had an issue with advantage, but you can definitely do that. As you can see here, and if you're up above an enemy, you're always fighting at an advantage. So that's why a lot of people have been recommending that. Like I said, I haven't really had a lot of issues with that, so I don't really feel like it's worth the hassle, but some people might. A lot of people might, actually, it looks like, from what I've seen and heard from other people. So that's one great tactic, or actually a couple of great tactics, I guess, all wrapped in one there for you. Search everywhere. Make sure you're moving the crates, and make sure you're using the boxes.
And traders have private property.
Oops. But also be careful of that. That's really important in my opinion. Another thing to take into consideration is your ability to actually throw healing potions. Put myself in turn-based mode here, and I know it may not seem like much, but if you're in a bind and your heals are out of spells or whatnot, or you got somebody who gets knocked down, you can actually throw these potions, right? So you can see where it's going to land. And right now you can see, okay, if I throw it here, it's going to hit 2 people. You want to make sure it actually hits them, by the way. You don't want to throw it out here. If you do that, it's fine, and that becomes a puddle on the ground, but then they have to move through it. Versus here, if you throw it right at them, you can see that the circle on the ground is going to hit multiple people, and you can throw it, and you see, it heals them both. So that's something I didn't know until Act 3, so that's how far behind I was on that one. But highly recommend being prepared to use that, especially if you've got people getting knocked unconscious down to 0 hit points. Doesn't work if they're full on dead, but if they're just knocked down and you can do the little icon here, help, you can also use a health potion to bring them back to health and get them back up. It's actually a little better to use the health potion because it gives them more health than just help. That only brings them back with 1 hit point versus however many your health potion would give them. So that's a big deal. I think it's really worth talking about. Another thing that's quick and simple, but again, I didn't actually realize like how this worked until later in the game, and I wish I knew earlier, so that's why I'm sharing it now, is setting things as wares. Like if I take this, I don't know, this mushroom, we set it to wares, set this to wares, you know, just a few things like that. Just mark whatever, and just mark them, right? Okay, so we got them set as wares. And then I think there's a vendor. Let me get out of turn-based mode here real quick. I think there's a vendor right behind me here somewhere. Where are they at? I think I walked past them actually. Yeah, there's a few over this way. So give me 1 second here and I'll run over and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the wares. Maybe. I'm a slow runner, apparently.
Water. My dagger.
Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to come down here. Let's see. We'll go to this guy. I like him. Damon. Alright, so I've set a bunch of things to wares, right? And so, as soon as he's done talking, let me see your wares. And we'll switch it up here over to trade. You want to make sure that you're on the trade, and then you'll see right here, it just turns into sell your wares. 1 button, boom, sells all the stuff that I've marked as wares. Again, not a huge difference, you know, it's not going to make or break your game, but it will save you a lot of time and hassle and just makes it a lot easier to get a bunch of stuff out of your inventory very quickly. So I definitely appreciated figuring that out and realizing that it is that easy to just really shuffle through a bunch of gear and loot that I don't necessarily plan on using, right? Or in many cases, it's just junk that I'm carrying around for the gold. So, moving on from there, I want to make sure I'm talking about everything important. Another point that I wanted to just mention, especially in these early stages of the game, but it's true all the way through as you're playing, make sure that you're taking rests at your camp pretty often, because as you're doing it, it helps promote the storyline for all of the fellow characters in your camp, and it can really help progress the game faster if you're taking a nap. As you can see, I almost missed it actually, but over here we got Gale who wants to talk with us. Yeah, this is early in the game, but it's all the way through Act 3. There's still camp things going on. I'm going to skip through this actually.
No, she's not.
Why?
Really.
Because I don't want... If you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to ruin it. But I'm sure, you know,
What can I say?
everyone's
Can't quite describe.
gotten in a little ways here. Hopefully at this point. If not, I hope you get a chance to soon.
As far as I'm concerned, she is all creation.
The game's truly phenomenal. Like, I'm playing on a ranger. My main character has been
Magic is
a paladin, and like I'm getting totally different aspect of parts of the game that I was not having on my paladin, but I'm getting it on my ranger, and many things on my ranger I didn't get on, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Starting to get myself confused here. It's just like the way they built the game, your decisions on every character, your class, your race, creates a different story arc than what you had.
Then follow my. Now you.
Every single person. Let's see. I'm trying to skim through this, and it's just not working because it's an interesting little part here. So,
You feel something.
skipping through it. There we go.
Now,
Alright,
Repeat after me.
there we go.
I
I'm
think
going to
it's-
call it a night.
Good night.
Probably regret that later because I actually wanted to do that part before, but that's alright. Not a huge deal right now. I do recommend going through the different story arcs and building those relationships with the different characters in your camp. Although some of you might also not care and go the full solo route. I've seen quite a few people who take that. Very interesting. And another thing I love about this game is that you are able to choose that if that's your style, if that's what you want to do. You know, so that's pretty awesome, right? And that's really just a few things I wanted to touch base on right now at the beginning of the game, especially if you're new to the game or if you're like me and maybe been playing it a long time and didn't realize how simple some of this stuff is, but helpful. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoy the video. I was just trying to make a quick one today that you can enjoy and hopefully find some helpful tips. I appreciate again you taking time to watch the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. It's a great way to help me out. I appreciate it. Leave a comment if you want. I do try to engage with you as much as possible and love to hear about your gameplay and things that maybe I missed that I should be letting other people know about as well, that you found incredibly helpful for your gameplay and for your playthrough. Leave a comment. I'll hopefully hear from you soon. Thank you.